Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Hope you're having a good day. Good morning. Ooh, right there on the open. Are they selling that? Wow. What the heck? Well, I just missed it. Like, I started it like literally at the open. Look at that. 483 at 14. That's curious. Let's check Twitter here. That was a little weird, honestly. Morgan Stanley, we continue to see prime brokerage balances go up from where they were in the first quarter, which is where they were in December. Thank you, Deutsche Bank. Yeah, I don't see anything in here, but that was weird. Something's up. Now, of course, they're hitting it at 12.5. This might have to go back a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, very curious. And did they push it down? Yeah, it actually screwed up my thing. Let's fix it and see if it adjusts. Okay, cool. So the open was at 14.5. Well, I can't get involved in that. And we do have news at the bottom of the hour, so let's go into the charts. Because yesterday, super range bound, tried getting our sell here, and it was kind of not cooperating. And then later at 9 o'clock, then it just kind of goodish, right? So I was like, okay, well, that was a good move, but it looks like it's done. Went to work. It's been quiet at work lately, but I got something that I could really sink my teeth into, so I'm all going into that, completely forget about things. Come back later in the afternoon, and I find all of these comments on my video from Uzi. It's like, oh, I'm still holding it. I'm like, what? Yeah, he held it all the way through that whole move up. Congratulations, dude. That was awesome. And of course, the commenting, like, sent all of these people to the video, so a bunch of people got to see. Anyways, so we had a pretty strong move up in the Treasuries. They did stop right there about where they should be. So I think that we've established a good range here between 153 and 155. Same in the ZN. ES, of course, not quite below its swing low. But this looks suspiciously like something that turns. 04 finally was hit this morning, so you held it all the way to this morning? Really? Well. Okay, well. Coming back over here now. Let's check out our news. Thursday, we get Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. We're expecting a reading of 5. And unemployment claims at 216, which is an average number. Okay, Philly Fed is an important number. So, curious that the market moved the way that it did there on the open. And also, we got the spike down here, didn't we? No, I closed the trade before yesterday. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, when I did that one, every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, I really want to swing one. I'll just hold it to the close, but I'll always close it like the options close, right? Okay, so where is our sheet and document? July tracking. So it is July 18th, the day should be trend up, but we don't know. It was within the range, though. So we'll say it was in the range. Trend was down. Oh, actually, we should say it was trending, because when we got that signal, it was trending. Trending down, reversal, and it went Um, from where the signal was 1, 2, 3, 4, and it went 2 against us. No, it's worth more than that even. 16.5. That's interesting. And I'm not getting, well, actually I am. I'm getting a signal right here. We're getting something at 16.5. $165. So this is a trending up. He went 2 against us. Okay, so if you got the 125, right, then you would have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got a reply from TradeStation and they said, do not use the same clearance for equities as same as futures. What do they mean? What do you mean by clearance? I don't know what that means. Did you have like a trailing stop order sort of a thing? I wonder what caused all that. That's really odd action, guys. And I still... UK Parliament now voting on amendment that would block October's shutdown. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the UK news. Anyways, this one also reversed. Also reversed. So like, here's the thing. If I bring this over here, my spreadsheet, and look at the result column. Do you see a pattern? Reversal. There are some continuations. I didn't put very good comments on that one. What was this continuation? Tons of activity out of nowhere after one uptick. So it seems to me that even when there's a continuation, we'll see what happens. But I think that we could predict that. Their method is different, that not affect the account net worth, but only unrealized profit and loss. Oh, I see. So you're saying that it moved something because your unrealized profit and loss was changed or whatever. And are we seeing orders show up here to bounce it or anything? No, kind of, but not really. Anyways, it seems to me like if we come down and then you get one of these, it plows through it and turns, right? And then up here we started getting them. We plow it and turn. Okay, now we're getting it here again at 15.5. 15.5. So this one was only worth 2. This was trending down. Reversal potentially. Okay, but now we're getting more, so this one might go into range. And look at that, some pulse. Okay, yeah. So here's the news. Boom. Good. Wow. Wowee. That good, huh? Philly Fed 21.8 versus 5 expected. Wow. Well, that's a positive number. And we're getting a signal at 11.5. Okay, so we were down. I'm going to say it happened at 11.5. And it's gone 2 against it. Oops. 2. There you go. Wow. So I went 1, 2, 3 against it, actually. But you could have gotten 1, 2. Potentially 2. And now I'm going to say that the day is down. For sure, at this point, it's down. From right here after this turn, you got a little bit of a turn, but they were slow on it. Do you see that? Okay. Increased again at 11. We're trending down. It's gone 1 against us. Man, there's all these things I want to talk about, but there's so much stuff I'm just like engrossed in trying to keep track of all this stuff, huh? I find it interesting though that when it came back, look at that. Here they come down and push back up, little higher low. I don't even have the Discord over here, but we should post that one. Wrong says I still don't get it. Yeah, I don't completely understand either. Abbreviate thin from Econ TFE. What does that mean, Greg? So we're getting it here. We got it here, and it went 1, 2, 3. And did they go through? No. Okay, so 3. And then here again, we were heading, I'm going to say we were arranged, and we got it again at 11.5. Oops, 11.5. And we've just got 1 and 1. Abbreviate your typing. I type in too much. Waiting for size to enter. Is a good point. So you can see here when it come back, they were looking to buy it. So I think that those were just the short-term traders taking profits, maybe. I need to get a different keyboard is what I need to do. There's some size down there at 8, so I'm not so sure that they're done. Okay, so now you're really getting it. Icebergs on both sides of this. So I don't have a whole lot of data points here yet for when we're ranged and we encounter this to see if there's any pattern from which way we move. I suspect, though, that we might get a small move up. But I think the way to play this one is more complicated than that. I think that you got to wait for it to tick out and then, right? So now we tick down at 11. So they're going to try and push it back up, right? Nope, they didn't. So they're trapped. They're going to go for a new low now. So we're going to call that one lower, right? We're going to call that one continuation. My, oh my. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I was wrong about it going higher, but I think I'm right about you wait for it to tick and see what happens. That one, though, if you waited for it to tick, you know, I don't think you would realize what's happening because you'd be waiting to see if it ticks back up, right? And they took 10.5, so the best that you would have been able to do is sell 10, which is awful risk reward, and then you'd be hitting and running into the iceberg at 9.5. Okay, but we're going to say range and down and here this one is at 9.5. Oh, I got this wrong. This was 4 right here. Okay. It seems I missed the roller coaster. Yeah, I'm not sure that you missed it yet. And they're still not down to that mighty nice looking order down at 08. It's very enticing, don't you think? And of course, there with the spike, they stop. But see, that's nice because something that maybe I might have done in the past would be like sell it as she goes, and then I'd be getting 09.5. And what I'm seeing right here was telling me to get out of that. So they could go through it for 2. But this looks like it's probably going to stop here. My chest is all popping again, and my back feels messed up, sore. Well, it feels like the result of this one is probably more range. So we could say that you might have been able to get 2 from it. Let's just say that, 2 and 1. This is kind of that situation where I think it flips around, right? Like we've moved down to this area. There's a lot of interest here down here. That can turn into fuel to push it lower. It seems like they're trying really hard to push it up, and they aren't just they're not getting anything from it. Right? Oh, didn't quite tick it.
Block sell.
Wow, block sell. Okay, so that wasn't really a reversal, that was a continuation again. Let's say that this was strong trend, yeah? So then it was actually 2 against you and 1, 2, 3. Some folks would look to sell at those 15 to 16s in ZV. We already missed that. Well, I need to come in here and load levels now. Oh, we're well below everything. Now, curiously enough, S&P 500 doesn't seem to really care. Let's see here, what's IQ got? Oh, he actually took that at 11. I'm suspecting all this activity here. Oh, wait, half. Okay. It's getting a bit more balanced here. Well, IQ definitely thought he saw something. I wonder what it was about that spot there at 11 that made him want to go long versus the other spots. Greg's still all in short. Oh, but from what price? IQ says 10 tick target. Oh, out flat. Okay. See, the thing that I'm wondering here is it seems to me that when you get these things, okay, increased activity there. That one at 11. Wow. Okay, so here we kind of got a little bit of a signal, and then we really got a signal. So maybe that one's different. This one I'm noticing when you're in a range and then it ticks down one and you get a huge spike, then it tends to continue, right? But then, okay, we came up here, we got one, and it ranged and pushed lower, and we got one, and we pushed lower and we got one, and now finally it's reversing. So it seems to me that when you get strong velocity or you know, resting order activity, when you're seeing a lot of orders change around, and we're in sluggish range bound action, it always turns there. And when we're having a really strong trend, it tends to continue. But you're always going to end up with a spot where it continue, and then finally they're exhausted. And the question is, how do you determine when you've reached that point? Because if we take this short, okay, you take it short, you would take it off there, and then, you know, there was still two more in it. So maybe there's just no real way to really consistently catch that, but that's going, if you're going to take this strategy, 90% of the time you're going to be using it as a reversal potentially. We need to look at how it, you know, works. Now, we should probably also keep in mind the icebergs and stuff, right? Because there was an iceberg there, and then there was an iceberg here, right? But they just plowed right through them, indicating even though there is some buy supply there, it still pales in comparison to the sell side demand. I'm looking at the action here. Bonds not able to trade back to upper range, say 15. And this to me is a bearish signal. Well, and the ZB is down at the bottom there again. But you know what's really weird about this? Something weird about this to me is that you're not seeing the spread change. On my chart, the spread's not changing. And see here, it was a reversal, but it was only for like 2. $3K. Oh yeah, I think that's been there for a while though. Yeah, it has. Nice run to the upside there in ZB yesterday. Some demand levels on the market profile that could be tested today. Yeah. You know, so this is also a very interesting thing. Yesterday, we had a pretty good slow churn up. It didn't really turn up until much later in the day. I was, when I left, everything still looked range bound, right? But we had a pretty strong update. Now today, you're getting a sell. It is a much stronger sell. This is some of the strongest action we've seen in a week or two. Very strong downtrend. They are very much just pushing through levels, which is kind of one of the more interesting things about it, because in the summer, it's kind of like been like, they take a move and then they'll come to the spot and stop. But this time they went through 1, 2, 3, I want to say like 4 times now. For as she goes. And despite all of that, we are still not even close to the levels that we spent most of yesterday at. Like, I would think we would be able to get to like 05. Yeah, I need to get a new keyboard. Did IQ took it long though? Or was that his exit? Maybe that was his exit. That must have been his exit. Okay, now that one was interesting because they pushed down that time and interest waned, and now we're moving up again. So that one is also okay. Lack of activity at low in trends. This one, we're going to say strong trend down, it reversed, wait. Three, one. Sweet bounce off the Ivy low before this madness started. I got one of those mechanical keyboards and nobody told me how hard they are to clean. You know, I like never take the keys off of this thing. My brother has a really nice one that's, you know, like it's all really raised off, so you just take all the keys off and then, you know, wipe it and then put them all back on. But I'm using a Razer Black Widow, whatever. It's like the one that's like oh hey, I forgot that I have the you can't even see me. What the heck? What am I typing? Oh, I'm just putting in my notes. So you can see here. Do you guys want the link to this one too? I'll give you guys the link to this one too. Copy the link. Anybody can comment. Here you go. So now you guys have both of them. And I'm this one I think I'm going to I'm gonna gonna try and do more like general sort of a thing. But mostly I'm just going to post these pictures because there's no other way to save that. I wonder if there's a way to make it in NinjaTrader so that it actually does save that data. Anyways, so right now we're getting another one, right? So we're gonna say this was a counter trend up. It was at 09. Yeah, it's at 09. And my comment is going to be pullback after new low. Yeah, Uzi says I'd imagine you can write it to a file, but I'm wondering if NinjaTrader actually provides a specific facility for you to save a series so that when you reload the chart, it doesn't come back on you. Let's look it up. Doesn't give me a ton of information though. Market depth event args. I could certainly do it myself the hard way, right? Maybe you can use some sort of software to write it for you from you speaking. You know, if I had the Journalytics license, I think it would let me do that, right? But I would have to be putting in trades or something. I should probably just mute the mic every time I start typing is what I should really be doing. Maybe I should ask them. I think I should ask them before I go into something crazy. You know? Alligator says Philly pretty good. Weekly claims okay, and almost 1 full point range this week. Yet in 2 days, enough reasons for this selling market. Balanced within swing range, maybe a bias today now. It does feel like, I don't know. It's weird. New low, not interesting. Reversal, ranged. Interesting, but ranged. That's what I have to put down on the chart here for this one, is the result was range. 1 and 1. I find it interesting that the activity between all bids and all asks always seems to coincide. Am I doing something wrong here? That's only showing bids. That's only showing offers. And certainly if my code for splitting them was wrong, you wouldn't have through there. So I think the problem with recording it through a mic is I think that recording it with a mic would do okay for doing it like this. But I wouldn't do it. How would you get it to do it for this sheet? You know what I mean? So I don't know. But Jigsaw, the day trader thing, totally has that. I wonder, I don't think I can see it, right? I think you can go in here to my trades, for instance, and I can like click on a trade. How do you do it? Or maybe it's the day overview thing. Yeah. If they change it, I can see everything again. Kenny Latex talking about Donald Trump's racist remarks. We should talk about that, actually, shouldn't we? See, here it is right here. So you can give it a day note. And you can say, yes, use my microphone. And now, oops. Are you using my microphone? It's not using it. I don't think it is. Wait, do I need to change?
Block cell.
Oh boy. Block cell. Interesting. Yeah, that's correct. When I talk, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't work. Pete, it doesn't work. Well, there's a way to do it, but Okay, so I'm going to say that was a range. Then one tick higher. Well, let's do it again. Let's say it was range. Let's say range up. The block cell was at 09.5. Notice how they're building a new level at 12 and it doesn't trade higher so far. So you're saying that we, well, where did we start from? Okay, 025. Okay, so we had this move down and up and then gadoosh. And then we had they finally were done. So we got to a spot where they weren't interested anymore. And now we're going to build a range here. And then once they've built enough of a range here, maybe they push it lower again. Looks like prior RTH point of controls were the near-term attractors. Hold on. Sorry for the typos. Oh, are you using your phone? Well, you on the go and you're still listening. I appreciate it. So somebody was mentioning, now that it's gotten quiet, we can talk about this. Somebody was talking about Donald Trump's racist comments. So last night, Donald Trump had a rally. And he was talking about Ilhan Omar and getting the crowd all riled up about Ilhan Omar. And the crowd started chanting, "Send her back." So, of course, the media is all up in arms about this. I kind of don't understand people's tendency to want to try and get in front of things like this. Like, you shouldn't be saying that. Every time that I see somebody like that out there saying that sort of a thing, that really makes me want to follow that person for the rest of my life. No. You remember when you were in school and there was that kid that was always chiding everybody, you shouldn't be doing that. Or even worse, when you were a kid and they're like, that's not very Christ-like. Nobody likes that kid, guys. Trust me, I know. It was like that sometimes. Nobody likes that kid, right? Does not inspire people, okay? But here's the thing, okay? Ilhan Omar, she became a citizen at 17. Her families were received asylum for the United States. So once she reached the residency requirement, she became a citizen. Now she is being accused that she married her brother and that her brother used that to come over to America and become a citizen. So they're saying that, Ilhan committed immigration fraud and that she could have her citizenship revoked. No, because she was a legitimate citizen. If anybody gets their citizenship revoked, it will be her brother, right? she committed immigration fraud. Her brother became a citizen fraudulently. His citizenship will be the one that is revoked. So it seems to me that some people in the Donald Trump world, some of his diehard fans, don't quite understand this. Haven't really. They just kind of know that she committed immigration fraud and maybe she'll get sent back. And so they're saying send her back because I think that they're saying that because they think that she could get deported because she committed immigration fraud. No, she's not. You can't kick her out because she's a legitimate citizen and that would be a violation of her constitutional rights. So I do not think that it's a good look for the party to have people at the rallies saying send her back. It's not possible, it's not accurate, and it's not in line with constitutional principles. I think they should probably try to redirect it, right? We should vote her out. We should get rid of her. Okay, but unfortunately, like if I was Donald Trump, I would be saying, they're telling me that we should send her back, but she is a legitimate citizen, so we can't just get rid of her. But all I'm saying, if you're listening, Omar, is you can leave if you would like. Just don't let the door kick you on the way out. You know what I mean? That's the sort of thing that I think you should say. And I'm going to bet, given some other reports that we've been seeing lately, that the people in the campaign are probably apocalyptic right now. Totally freaking out. And I would not be surprised. He hasn't tweeted this morning. Kind of curious. He hasn't tweeted this morning, guys. But I wouldn't be surprised if he walks it back. Or he says something like what I just said. That, actually we can't kick her out, but she should still leave. Something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like the ninny person, like, I'm not trying to virtue signal here. I'm just saying it does not help Donald Trump get elected. So I would recommend to Donald Trump supporters redirect that energy into something else. Okay, so they did create a point of control at 12. What were you saying here? Point of control moved down in ZB. Let's see if she likes it. And Dojo says she could be prosecuted if she gave false statements or documentation in support of her brother's case. Yeah, I think that there actually is a strong possibility that she gets kicked out of Congress. That could happen, right? If she gets prosecuted and then... But, yeah. So this is going to be fun, Uzi. So it sounds like what you're saying is the point of control is moved down now. Now we find out if they're going to take another step lower or if they're going to move up again, right? It sounds to me like your position is we are uncertain. It is uncertain. I think I need to enter in some more. I think we need to enter in some more of these. So this one actually did range up. Okay, this one actually reversed. So I'm going to say in the comments, reversed, but as a fake breakout. So you could say that you could have gotten 2 and 1 on it, but probably wouldn't want to play that one. Then I'm going to say here in this one, this was in a range, down, reversal, 080. Actually, 085. It'd have to be 085. One, two, three, four, at least, and 1. Now the increased activity from here didn't occur until... Okay, so increased large bidders after push lower. There's always the lovely VWAP test. It's so far up there, man. I don't know. It is a little crazy that the VWAP is still so far up there. Everything is so far away, and yet we keep hitting them. Well, it's 6 away, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. I keep pointing out we're going to the sweet spot at 16. Interesting that 16 is there at the low spot in the profile, ain't it? Notice how when we're moving up, so when we moved up, the bids pulled. That's another time that we've seen that. There's some things that are hard to track because when you get pulling from the bid, so like if we're moving up and bids pull, I think that tends to make it go more. But that one did only go 4. Now that we're up here, you're getting the interest again. So it's like they don't want to let it through there. Okay, well, we're going to talk about 10.5. Trend up. It looks like it's reversing. By the way, I'm wondering if I got... Nope. I always find it interesting that I always get like at least one like from my message that I'm going live that I send to Twitter. I'm like, how are they finding these? Why are they like, is it just robots randomly finding stuff and trying to fake activity? Or I don't know. It's kind of weird. Another thing is the spread didn't move. Not in ZP at least. Well, Lord, trade uncertainty used to be low, now it's high. Tell us more. Any Forex trades on? No, please. You know, Renko. So we trade futures, and I would highly recommend if you haven't traded futures before, you look at it because you get a lot more data in futures. You have volume. You can see all of the resting orders on the exchange, like we're showing here. And that gives you a much better probability of being able to predict a short-term move. Whereas in Forex, you're kind of just at the big guy's mercy. And we have a couple of guys in here that they started out in Forex and are still a little, they still remember their traumatic experiences with Forex. So I think you triggered people a little bit there. Elizabeth Warren declares war on private equity vampires in her economic patriotism plan. So this is odd that it just kind of... It was at 10.5, so you did get 2. Uzi saying looking a little better to what, to go lower? So I'm just noting that when we got to 10.5, when we got to the edge of the profile, everybody was all trying to get into it. And now that it's back down a little bit, actually they're still doing it. So I think I'm going to try and make a bold prediction here, right? Hear me out. This is like really random. So I'm not saying you should take a trade off of this or anything like this, but I believe that because the knob spread did not move, that there is not as much institutional interest in this move as it appears, and that we may move up and test the VWAP. And we do have equities opening soon. That's a good point. And equities are still look very heavy. Yeah, still haven't gotten a hold of how to trade knob. Well, let me tell you, buddy. It's very it very much responds to support and resistance. But it's so far away. Well, so what I was kind of trying to get at was when you move. I have to show you a chart. This is why I was pointing out how far away it was. Okay. It actually is maybe not as dramatic as I was initially thinking, but okay. So here we were before the news. We were making 2 standard deviations away from the VWAP from the recent action, but we were very range bound in the morning. Okay, so we're doing 2 standard deviations and then 3, and when you're pushing down, you can see we get 3. If we're having a really strong trend, and then we will break down through that 3. It is very rare that we get more than a few ticks past that 3 and continue on. Okay, and that happens like once or twice a year. Okay, so we came 3 standard deviations down. Okay, well, it's unlikely that we move down 3 standard deviations and then end the day higher, like above the open, right? So with the VWAP being up there, it would require a bit of a move to get back to it, is kind of the whole thing. But it kind of looks to me like, look at the volume here. Okay, got all that crazy selling down here. That from there to there, it came off. Okay, so now you've got all of this, right? If we pushed back up there, you might have some imbalance. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so far away from it that the trend for the day is likely to be down, but I kind of see a couple of things like what we have happening here in the volume. And if I come back over here, the fact that the knob spread like barely moved at all, right? And you're not seeing anything out of line in the cumulative delta in ZB. And ZF is kind of the same thing, it's 2. So that leads me to believe that there's a very good possibility that this move, a large part of this move, reverts. Especially if the E-mini comes out and decides to sell, you know? I don't know. I mean, look at where we are in ES. They could try and retrace to that 29.93. That actually looks really tempting to me. But it's, you know, that's really heavy. That's really heavy. I don't know. Although, you know, the whole thing there in the E-mini yesterday, I thought was very surprising. We'll put it that way. And I didn't really see a whole lot of justification for it. You know what I mean? Hold on, I'll be right back. So do you see it right there? The offer showing up right there at 9.5. We're going to say range down reversal potentially. I'm looking too much at this chart and not at my DOM. I need to come up with a better, I don't know. So like, When I look at this, it's really clear to me there's a level at which, they start to get more of those that it's significant. But when I try and put like any kind of like a moving average on it or anything to try and pick out the outsized ones, it doesn't quite work correctly. It's never quite able to identify the bars that I want. And I really do wonder why I don't get significant differences between these two. That bid, though, is the increased offers there. That's unusual. Where were they at? They were actually... Wait, 213? How is that possible? What? Wait, what? That's weird, guys. You see that? I can see an order that's like being placed way out there. How can I even see that? That's a little weird, guys. I shouldn't be able to see those. And why would anybody put an order up there, I don't know what to think of that now. Well, other than that it's, clearly spoofing. Oh, yeah, here, let me show you. See this? See these right here? They were stacking stuff. They were messing with orders all the way up at 130 and 20 half. That's literally like 3 points higher than where we were at. How can I even see that? My DOM. Let's check it. Maybe something changed again. So I'm showing 100 levels of market depth. I can't see any more than that. Jigsaw won't even let me change it higher than that. Am I able to see literally, is NinjaTrader able to see literally everything? Like literally the whole book? Okay, well that one was good for at least 3. It was a reversal. So this is kind of where there's enough consolidation in there that they can definitely kick it back up to like there. To at least the 13. Oh, and that's where the VWAP is now. So now everything really looks in line. When I test drove their platform and feed, you can see everything. Uzi says Rhythmic does offer full book. Interesting. But why would you even, well, if you were buying here and you were taking a trade and you were expecting to hold it for a really, really, really long time, I suppose you could put an offer up there and just wait. But I don't understand why you would do that. Why would you want everybody to see that? Want everybody to know that you bought the dip, I guess? I don't know. So maybe you got full book, but it's outside of Jigsaw parameters, but not in NinjaTrader 8s. I think that's the case because I can't, Jigsaw won't let me increase it past 100. What we really need, oh, you know what? I wanted to look something up about NinjaTrader because they have those ticker things. I'm wondering what those are based on. I should do it in Chrome. Day trader downloads. Oh, there's a new one today. What did they change? Database performance improved. Improved MAE MFE calculation. Ooh, yes, please. Profit and loss calculation can be off for first trade of the day in some circumstances. MT5 goes out of sync. Some users not seeing data for new micro features. I don't want that. And Frank, what a name. How's it going? Thank you for joining us on Twitch. And we got a good number of people watching today, by the way. I find it kind of interesting when we look at the numbers and what sort of things actually affect our numbers. Because we have very, very consistent viewership, even though it's like 20, but it's like the same 20 people. You guys come in every day. And I think maybe today, because we had a couple of, the video from yesterday had a little bit more activity because we were commenting on it. And I think that that's what increased it. When I do well, it doesn't increase the number of viewers. And when I do poorly, it usually does, actually. Usually those videos get a few more views. But here on this one, I'm not even taking any trades. You guys are into it. Which kind of makes me think, because I've always thought, oh man, what happens if we start doing really well and we get to the point where me taking trades becomes a problem because I have too many followers? But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what though? I could totally be putting trades on another screen and we would be okay. I'm not going to do that anytime soon, but I'm just saying. I don't think anybody is watching because I'm an amazing trader. Okay, so they got a few out of that, and then it just kind of died. Was there an iceberg at the top or anything? Oh, there was. It got killed by an iceberg. I missed that. But now that we're at 08.5, it's doing it again. Oops. There's been so many of these today, too. And good morning, Algo Lover. Have you been in before, Algo Lover? I think that name seems familiar, but I'm not sure. The E-mini did buy. That move makes a little bit more sense. That could trend up. That could move us lower. ES buyers would need to regain a bid above 29.93 for squeeze continuation. If not, anticipate another down rotation target at 29.70. Oh man. Well, 93 is further away than I can see. See, I'm wondering because I do. I think I should wait a little bit longer. Let them build this profile. Just yesterday. Oh, okay. I get you. You've been around for a while, but maybe just not every day. Well, we're glad to have you here. Um, so that comment that you left there, if you go into the Discord, I think that the equity index guys would be interested in that. What are they saying in there this morning, by the way? Not a whole lot of activity yet. But I've just been thinking, we haven't had many days where on the open you get several thousand just straight up. You know what I mean? And now we're getting it. And it's reverting. I'm wondering. And then are they gonna? I don't think I can touch it. I don't feel confident in it. Where, because we could come back all the way to here. It's just this same thing. Like, okay, let's just assume for a second that we really do want to go long in the E-mini. I think I want to go long in the E-mini. I mean, I think that the news that we got was good, okay? And I also think that yesterday's move was a bit too much, okay? So I think I would prefer to go long in the E-mini. But here we got, like, a spot. And then there's all this down here. And I feel like, well, it could come all the way back down to here. But then if it comes all the way back down to here, then I'm thinking, well, maybe it's going to go lower. So I don't know if I can buy any of these spots. Dev DA Goat. Dev to Goat. There, yes. Hi, how are you doing? It's like, well, we do get a couple of viewers on DLive usually, don't we? But having, almost nobody ever speaks on DLive. So I love that too. Most people watch on YouTube. I stream to all the platforms. Did you know? I was looking at it. Because when you look at like the streaming stats and everything that Twitch looks at for whether or not you become a partner, I do pretty good. If all of my viewers were on Twitch, we would like totally be set. But then the agreement you make is if you become a Twitch partner, you can only stream on Twitch. And I'm like, well, I don't think I want to become a Twitch partner. I don't even think it would matter anyways, right? I'm not going to send you guys ads in the middle of trading. That would be lame. That would be lame, and that's the main thing that you get with it. Although, I think that you can do it like you can roll an ad, and you get like $1 for every person that watches it. So it would be like, okay, we got 20 people. Let's watch an ad. $20. Hey. That's pretty good, right? Michael anticipates a bid up to potentially sell into, so you really think that it's going to go lower then, huh? See, I'm just not, I don't know. So here's the thing. I've been waiting for a day where on the open, there was clear buying. We finally get that. Well, if it was clear selling, it would be the same thing the other way. Now we're getting that. But when I look at that peak there, it was a little too sharp for my tastes. Oh, by the way, that move did reverse for 2. You notice, though, that whenever this happens, they're not getting much out of it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 all over the place. This is, okay, now the 5-year is selling it hard there at 21.5. Not seeing an increase in interest here. If sellers defend below 29.93, then yes, lower a bid above 93 would allow squeeze continuation. Yeah. We're like so far away from 29.93 though, right? Like we would need a strong, relatively strong up move just to get up there. To even start talking about that. So see here now down, this would have been a spot that I thought that they would be interested in, and they're not. Probably down here. Maybe this one. Maybe you could take this. Oh, that one was a long though. This is kind of just gets into that thing where it's like you have a strong down move, and then it's like very often the best trading is done, and you should just like not touch it. Yeah, he says it's not a definite to get there, but a line in the sand. Yeah. Well, those are like the single prints. So yeah, that they could test that whole range, and 93 would be a spot where they would probably try and defend. So probably it's likely that if we do get up there, that there will be a little bit of chaos up there, and then we can see if it stays or goes down. Kind of like what we saw yesterday. Overall, though, this market looks really. This doesn't look like a very good market right now. So, do we got other stuff? It seems like. Okay, we do have CB leading index at the top of the hour. What is that again? Change in the level of a composite index based on 10 economic indicators. It is designed to predict the direction of the economy, but it tends to have a muted impact because most of the indicators used in the calculation are released previously. Right. Now here at 09, not of a lot of interest in it, just goes into a range. So what I thought was maybe a signal just ended up being nothing, I think. Oh, actually, it did reverse, but now that it's done, it's stuck in a range. Oh, yeah, so we were looking at Jigsaw, weren't we? Okay. The gauge. Here, just balance of trade. See, they don't actually say what it's reading. But I don't think that it is, we, let's just try ZN here. So then if we go into the settings of this thing, okay. Yeah, I would love to have something like this, but that showed me the change in the order book, Because he says all the fun just went away. Okay, so all that buying in ES reverted. So you're still, I mean, it might not be over. You could still buy it. But, that's not very, it's not a strong buy, right? Donald Trump still hasn't tweeted this morning, guys. All the fun in ZV went away, not for me. It'd be a buy I'd sit on for way too long. In the E-mini? Maybe, yeah. I mean, you would have gotten your 8 there. It does look like they flushed out shorts and are moving higher again. Oh, he's talking about ZB. Well, and with it right there at the point of control, right? This is just consolidation. It's sitting dead in the water now. It's gonna need something to move it. I guess if the E-mini makes a new high here. Buyer aggressively defended that 0.5 there. You see seller put on quite a bit, but he just boom, 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 boom. So you're gonna trap this guy? Well, they didn't just go right up for the high, right? It's actually surprising how far they were able to make it, considering that the cumulative delta barely moved at all. Yeah, it looks like that guy at 08.5 did get trapped. So I'm going to put in here after the uptick, so 09.5. Let's check that one. I think somebody big tried a dumb trade there, maybe. Or maybe he had to. Shouldn't assume that he was doing something dumb, but well, 29.84 is the opening range high in ES. It's like that spot is being tough for them. Even though the ZN ticked up here, it's still kind of slow and stuck. Do we get a bubble? No. I should adjust this. Like, where's my circle turner? 4. 4 is good. So we can see them. I wonder if I can make something where, like, every time there's an order change, it makes a little clicky noise. So when it's really going off, it sounds like a Geiger counter or something like that. I wouldn't bother you guys with it, but I think that would be interesting. Hmm. So on that downtick, the bid pulled. So I think you put it in there like that. Hope you can get it filled. I'm not allowed. We're not supposed to take trades, but we got to see if this would fill. Because we can just say it was 11. 1082. Everything was so fun for 30 minutes and then this is a freaking summer though, right? It's like they do the move and then it's like it's done. And then if you keep trying to trade it after the initial thing, like once we touched there and we're all kind of agreed that like it looks like it's stopped, then you're done. You're getting some fishy business right here. So it didn't fill, but look at the way they did that. That would have been a good trade. So bid hold. We're going to say it was a reverse. It was in range. Sneaky, but you wouldn't have gotten filled at 09. You could have tried hitting it at 09.5. Where was it? It was right there. You could have bought 09.5. So we'll put it in as 09.5. Bid pulled on the downtick. Counter signal. Also note the E-mini still heavy, but not giving me a clear direction here almost 30 minutes later, so I can't. As much as I feel the desire to trade the E-mini, I don't think I have any clue what it's going to do. I need to accept that. I don't want to accept that. I want to trade it, guys. Take that up. Yeah. Oh, a good signal. It's so the thing that's funny to me. There was another trade like that yesterday, right? And I said, oh, I thought, even though we're in a zipper and everything, I think there's a really high probability it's going to drop out of this and then reverse. And it did. And I put the order in there just to show you, like, this is where I would do it. And we see if maybe you get filled. And did that again. It wouldn't get filled. But it was like I was so sure that I wanted to say, I would have tried putting an order in there. And it worked out. So even though this thing is not like a dead set thing, there does seem to be something to it where like I can see something and totally goes. And can you see the bids are still pulling behind it too? I think they're going to break out of this range here. I think they're going to do that VWAP test now. The E-mini sure is selling hard. So I need to get down into what it was about that particular one that made me so sure. Now, it was absolutely the pulling, right? So I'm wondering now, maybe for tomorrow, because these bids and asks right here don't really do anything right. So maybe this tells you everything that this does, right? So maybe I should switch these and give them, like, say they can only go to like 100 or something like that. Like maybe their orders between 50 and 400. So how much was it? It was 1, 2, 3 so far. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, you're gonna get 4 from it, huh? Four. Wow. Really? Really? Well, I think I would need to be sitting there like that. Here was the signal right here. They're not just going for it at 12. So it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And we could say it went 1 against this. Trend up 11.5. So to be 2 and 7 there in line. That one was close, right? But I think that that's telling us we have the right idea, but it's too obvious. Yes, still attempting sluggish bid into the 90s. Oh well, there's a good move up there. Well, there's your VWAP bounces. Are you gonna do something? Oh, I guess you would want to wait for it to happen in ZB, huh? There might be another little bit of a move here. There might be a little bit of it in it just because they're gonna want the other instruments to make it. Hasn't hit it yet. Yeah, okay. I gotcha. He's watching it though. But ZV didn't touch it. Look at the way that the bid pulled all the way up. Okay, so it did fill it at 12. So that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that was right. Okay. So then this was actually at 11 where we got the signal. And it went 2 past. This should be to there, right? Yeah. This doesn't count. We're ignoring it. I don't actually have a position. Just pretend that we don't, so it doesn't affect our heads, right? I should have bought the point of control holding. Yeah, but I'm bad about those scenarios. But what was it? Why do you say that? What did you see that you feel like you ignored? Just the very fact that it held is enough, huh? Okay, now we're in the range and you're starting to get interest again. I think that it's probably going to turn back down. That's like a further confirmation. based on what we've been seeing. Bids were heavier on downticks to the point of control. Okay. So you're saying that when it ticked down, the bid didn't pull at all. They were still absorbing, like, more than 300. The E-mini is starting to look positive. I'm wondering, you got all that selling and they're up near the high. Are they going to try and... We got some imbalance. This is like complete divergence. Day trading is hard. It's probably good to put these orders in here just to see what things are getting filled. I mentioned before that scenario, just because the point of control moved down doesn't necessitate continuation. That's why I don't just jump in, right? The book gave the hints. I'm too iffy about taking them. So you wait for the point of control to move, and then you sit down and you say, okay, now that it's moved, now they can decide to either reverse or continue. And you're trying to read, and your read was when we were down there that we were going to move up. Well, I think that we were kind of overall, we're kind of favoring it moving up, weren't we? Brain is just too entrenched in self for the day. Yeah. Well, it's like, I think both of us had like to pick one direction and try to only take trades in that one direction for the day, right? So if you're going to pick that direction, it absolutely has to be down. Well, ZB still didn't quite make it, did they? Yeah, we were all on the same page for different reasons, though. You're right. In terms of it going higher. Because I was kind of more thinking it was going to go higher because when it went lower, there was not as much interest. And then, when we got these interest, right? I had his signal down there at 10. Well, I had signal over here too, but you can see this one where it gave me something else. It's just going range higher. Yeah. So I don't think that you do that one. Well, I don't have a magic indicator. I'm doing it the hard way. So the E-mini did not breach the high. Man. Not yet, at least. And a bunch of people decided to buy 12.5 there. Maybe now they do it. You gotta be careful about that E-mini. Like, it comes up and it doesn't do something. That's not Does I think what I'm seeing in the E-mini does favor long, especially right here. Shenanigans. Yeah. This over here. See that little outsized order right there when it fell? Bid came and picked it up. Shenanigans. Okay, so there was an iceberg at 12.5. ZB still didn't quite touch it, did they? There's ES now almost certain to go higher. Yeah, you can buy that. Right there. Well, maybe if you got that, for instance. There, sure. You would have gotten that. Where did it kind of... Okay, 50. So maybe here. I don't know. That ZB came like, what, one tick short. What was it, about 12 that I thought was... Oh, because it was just before the VWAP, I guess. So 5 years in charge for sure. I think the next thing we should do is copy this for the other two instruments and see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get rid of the Vista charts though. I guess I could just put them over here and we'll watch them over here. And then make something for sounds so that I can tell. Okay, so there's the new high in ES. I didn't come down to this. Where did they come back to? 85.25. And they kind of came close. So I think I had the right idea there on that one. That was on the right screen. I was showing you here. Came here. Okay. Anyways, no, you're right. I should show it over here. You want to see this, don't you? You can see here though, okay, they pushed up, and when they got up here, little peaks of interest. You want to see your trade play out? Well, I'm not. We're not. See, this is what we're not supposed to do, isn't it? I just can't help myself, can I? It's like, okay, well, I see the thing here. I only put that in there to see if it got filled. He is playing a pullback. I am. And well, it's not really a pullback. I'm playing a VWAP bounce, right? When I'm playing the VWAP bounce, here was my logic, okay? We had a spike. It was not nearly as big as these, but we moved up and we had a spike in interest. And, all this kind of calmed down. When I look over here on this, usually they go 1 to 3 ticks through. Okay. So I said, they're so close to the VWAP. He's probably putting on the brakes so that after they touch the VWAP, they can sell it. And that was my thought. So then I took it at 12. But now you can see it's not really like, it's kind of just ranging and I'm not getting anything more, even though the E-mini is kind of pushing higher. So for me on this spreadsheet for this signal right here, I don't think we have a clear outcome for it yet. And that's longer than almost any of the other ones that I've toyed with or that I've seen, right? And there's still this thing that ZB didn't actually touch the VWAP. Yes, we'll see who's who shortly. Yeah. I did say it was a buy, didn't I? The thing here is that all of those shorts, they still got more for them, right? I'll look at all that cumulative delta to come out. There was complete price divergence. And see a swing CB 13 ticks. Now it's kind of interesting how long we've spent here. They must have this in here though, because they know that this 29.93 or so in ES is a significant point. But I'm also thinking, so the main reason I put that in there was to get filled. I don't think it was like this one down here where I was like so certain. I was like, yeah, you definitely should see if you can get filled there. This one was kind of more the fill for the exit. Potentially. But I think that maybe it's not such a great trade just because ZB didn't touch the VWAP. You know what I mean? So they could go 4 ticks beyond me just so that they can touch the VWAP in ZB. Also, it's like 8:26, which is always like an awful time, right? They may just sit here forever and not do anything until the London close. That's always fun, right? It was actually looking like it was going to tick down, and it didn't. Wow. Daylight arson attack on Japanese anime studio leaves 33 dead. I heard about that when it was happening, but 33 people, that's wow. See how quickly that pulls, man? I think it's pulling just because the 5-year ticked down, but still. And ZF rather, usually does not do the zipper thing. Here's what's funny to look out. Watch people that step in on resistance become support. You talking about an ES here? So there was like the overnight range, and they broke out, and then they kind of pushed a little bit lower, and they couldn't actually quite get to it. Your audio is crystal clear. What kind of a microphone? Well, so I just have a Blue Yeti, but I do think that my microphone sounds pretty good, but it's not the microphone. So first thing is you set up the compressors, and I have a downward expander to cut the noise out. So when I'm not talking, completely silent, right? But it doesn't like just completely shut up because it's not a gate, it's a compressor. But then the other thing is that I do have room treatment in here because I do, in my free time, I will produce music, and it stops the echoes, especially like the low end echoes, which is really what will make your microphone sound like muffled. Like you can still hear a little bit of higher end reflections, comb filtering off of the walls back here, but it sounds really good. It's the room treatment, and if you get room treatment, you want to get like, don't get like, you see those guys on YouTube, they got like the little foam panels behind them. You know what I mean? Like the little egg carton looking things. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Go to GIK Acoustics, and it'll cost you a bit. It'd be like treating a good room is $500 to $1,000, but the thick material really stops the sound and completely changes the character of the room. Michael says, yep. Yeah. So I think that's the main thing. I actually kind of want to get a new microphone. I'm thinking about like, they have like a Yeti caster, which is like the same thing, but it doesn't have all of the different microphone modes, and it comes with the arm. I think that would be nice to have the arm, because right now I put the microphone on a book, and then I could take this one and I could just leave it on the stand and use that for recording video, or I could get a microphone for the camera. But anyways, that E-mini is still going. So there's a little step there at 90, big order. Well, the 5-year about to touch 23.25. Maybe. One brave soul. One brave soul. Do we have one brave soul that wants to sell at 23.25? No. Not if 23.5 is only offered through 100. Yeah, you have to offer more than 100, guys. 486 though. Somebody's selling it there. Okay, 1,000. Thank you. Thank you, good sir. So now somebody, one brave soul to sell at 23.25? Well, level 2 flipped. That's flipped multiple times. There you are. You were not a brave soul that just sold there. No, you were not. You were a panicked and terrified man, thinking that you were about to get a downtick. I'm still not getting a whole lot on my magic indicator. What should we call? I think we should come up with a better name for it. Because right now I'm calling it level 2 changes. Because it is displaying level 2 changes, but I think we could coolify it, you know? And we can't call it the Sethsolator because we already had one of those. Now 23.75 is going weak again. That might have just been a false breakout right there. Kind of interesting considering that the E-mini continues to push up. The Sethsolator. Yeah, I forget what it was that we were calling the Sethsolator, though. I had a couple of good ones, though, right? I don't think anything quite as good as this, though. Well, let's look. Let's look through the indicators. What was it? Clears is a good indicator. Should go back and look at that one. Actually, you know what? Let's not look at it that way. I'm still not actually. The funny thing is that I haven't gotten any actual actionable stuff here. Well, except for that when we did move down, there was maybe a little bit more interest here. We move down and look at all the ones that don't have the ats in front of them. Okay. Oh, yes, that's right. It was the zipper thing. We should do the Discord bot thing too. I should look at that again. Oh, that would be fun. So Discord has a way to integrate with your game. So you could potentially, well, their library is in like C++. So I kind of had a hard time getting it into C Sharp. I know it's possible, but it was like I didn't want to put in that much work. But so it could like you could set it up in Discord to report what your position was. But we never did it. Yeah, it was the sufficiency. Well, I actually forget what sufficiency is. I'm going to add it over here. It's not printing anything. Maybe it doesn't work anymore. Oh, that's right. The sufficiency is an attempt to calculate how effectively price is moving. So if you get, a move up like this, it shows that it was really efficient. Whereas if you get a move up where it kind of goes up and down, it's less efficient. That's what that was. It was actually useful because you could look at the set efficiency, and the way that you basically look at it is like, okay, if I was going long, how easy would it be for me to have made money versus if I went short, essentially. And I was trying to use it to backtest, because there could be a situation like maybe today might be a situation like that. No, probably not. But there could be a situation where the trend is up, but the best trades were short trades, And so it was to try and identify that. Well, I should be posting notes here, huh? Generate. I guess, as always, I should probably do this at the beginning of the stream, but always got to thank the Patreon guys. We got about 20 people on Patreon that have been contributing $5 every month for solid, I want to say, how long has it been? Maybe a year and a half now? More than that, because it was like before the 2007 peak in Bitcoin, right? Or sorry, 2017 peak in Bitcoin. So it's almost been 2 years. And they're getting this Bitcoin indicator, which is just amazing. Unfortunately, we're in a bear market, so the utility of it is questionable at best. Until we get a buy, of course. But we've taken all of that money that we were getting from it, and we just put it back into things for the stream. So overall, that's how we got the light. For instance, the light's made a big difference, hasn't it? Litecoin, Vertcoin. This weekend I'll go through them again and see if we can change anything. So now still not really seeing anything incredibly odd. Maybe a little bit of outsize there when they touched 12.5. But I think that you would have to say, if we were really taking this, and I'm kind of holding on to it because I want to see what happens, but I think that normally it would be over 30 minutes. You should just say that it's not happening, right? Let's see what's Bitcoin doing now. Okay, so they were able to recover over 9. So let's type. Well, it's kind of interesting. Oh, wait, let's post this first. Get Thursday. Okay. It's kind of interesting that we came down there. And actually, did it actually touch 11? How many hit 11? I didn't quite, don't recall. But now that we're back up here, you can see that they're not going across 12, they're going across 12.5. And they're not pushing through 12 anymore. But there is still this 5K sitting here at 13, so you kind of wonder. I don't know. I guess maybe somebody decided to push it up to the VWAP for a bounce, and then they got out, and now nobody else wants to touch it again. Also, the E-mini has kind of cooled off a bit. I am actually seeing Bitcoin start to continue moving up. It looks like somebody really bought it. I wonder if we go out here and look up Bitfinex, is he going to point out some prints? Another 15-minute Harry is all he's saying. Biff Nixon tethered to the rescue. Well, he seems agitated, at the least. They need to print as much as possible before July 29th. What happens on July 29th? That must be some important court date or something. I don't know. Well, so there's the E-mini stepping up again. Yeah, there was a pretty significant uptick, I'd say. Why? Why is it the 24.5 pulling? And even 24 and 3/4. That's a little weird, doesn't it? Anyways, I don't think it's been 30 minutes. I think that this trade is like it just went. I think that the take on this one is okay. We were moving up. There was at 11. It went 1, 2, 3, 4 against it. We're gonna say, right? Yeah, it did go 4 against it. 4 against it, and it actually only ever came back to that. So we're going to say that it was actually 4 up and 0 back continuation. We're going to say mostly ranged, came back to price. But this was bottom of range. So good to know. And this reminds me of things that have happened to me in the past where I would get something like that. Like I would see, okay, here's 11. Okay, it's going to go 2. Okay. And then it keeps going. And then eventually I get out and then maybe it turns. But it's like there seems to be something to like when it comes up to something and then there's interest versus when it stops and immediately turns, right? So like if you get that and then it turns into a range, I don't think you want to hold it. Could be. I don't know. Anyways, oh, we don't have, actually not everybody is on. We got a couple of people watching on Twitch. Thank you guys for watching on Twitch. And get spam on Twitch too from people saying like, hey, we will send you viewers. Screw you guys. Don't need bots. Oh, and then we got some people on D Live. Yeah. Not much, but ES is still searching here for sellers to rotate back. That may be. Although I have to say, it's really odd. They came up there to the 29.90 and that order disappeared, and then they came back up to it again and it showed up. I don't think I've ever quite seen that one before. That's a little weird. This one though, I find this last trade here really interesting because almost every time that I track this, it's a revert, unless it's like really starting to go. And here, I think we're saying it was a continuation, right? Because we got the increased interest right here. It feels to me like maybe what happened on this one was retail was able to get ahead of it. And so the market maker is still working on stopping them out before he can go lower. But that one took forever. So let's take note of that. And then we took the trade on it. Wasn't, shouldn't have mattered. We shouldn't have even, it was mostly to see, because I thought that it might be hard to get filled at 12. But it was not. In fact, it continued to go through, which is odd too. I don't know. That whole thing is kind of odd. I'm not quite sure what to make of that one. It could just be a fluke. But I suspect that there's something more situational about it. Maybe it's just because the 30-year never touched its VWAP, right? Because usually, if you get a VWAP bounce, it's usually quick, right? They come up to the VWAP, they sit there for a while. That's going to go through, or it's going to balance there. That could be another thing, I guess. They would have to trade a lot more volume to balance at 12.5 though. Now the other thing on the other side though is that if you had taken that short, and we were trading it the way that I think you probably should, at worst you probably took -1, right? If not, 1 or 2. This also, like it, when it came down here and there was slightly more, and then it came back up and there was slightly more, and then it came up and there was slightly more. That kind of, I don't know. There was some pulling on the offer. So maybe something significant happened right there. Well, we'll see. I'm not going to track that one though, because it happened at like 8:55, right? Okay. Anyways, so we will see you guys tomorrow. As always, if you can leave a comment on the video, it helps a lot. So I appreciate that. Let's see where it goes. And then, in an hour or so, we'll post our comments on the video about what we thought about the day action. Because that makes a really good record when you're coming back and looking at the video. Oh, what happened today? What were we thinking or feeling at the end of the day? I think that makes it useful and it boosts the video. So come back later in the day and leave a comment if you could. And I'll be here tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.